Hey, wait, don't skip this video. Trust me, what you're about to see will surprise you. Give me just 10 seconds. You won't regret it.
They laughed at him because he chose fire over gold. But fire was the only thing that could save the village. In the old time, when the sun still wore its crown of red, there lived 4 brothers boys in the golden land of Ijebu. Not blood brothers, soul brothers. Raised under the same shea tree, fed by the same grandmother's stories. Their names were Adebayo, Taiwo, Olu, and Kemi. Adebayo was the blacksmith. He hammered iron beneath the acacia tree, his face always half covered in soot, his hands always burned, his forge never silent. And the other 3, Taiwo the trader, Olu the hunter, Kemi the weaver, they laughed at him. "Tell me, Adebayo," Taiwo would say, smiling with teeth too white, "how many plots of land have you bought with your hammer?" "Olu," he would say, "your muscles are thick, but your pockets are thin." And Kemi, gentle Kemi, who wove dreams into cloth, would shake her head. "You smell of ash, Adebayo. You smell of honest work. And honest work, they say, pays nothing but dust." But Adebayo would only smile, not with his teeth, but with his eyes, and say, "Fire does not lie. The iron knows when it is treated with respect, and respect is a currency older than gold." They called him the Smoke Man. They said his forge was a graveyard for ambition. They said he was foolish, slow, and worst of all, unambitious. But here is the first secret. They were wrong. Not because Adebayo was perfect, but because they had forgotten what fire really means. Let us meet them properly. Let us see them before the world turned them ugly. Adebayo was not always bent over anvil. He was once a child who watched his grandfather, a master of the sacred forge, melt pure iron under the stars. His grandfather taught him one rule: the metal remembers. If you feed it lies, it will break your hand. If you feed it respect, it will carry your name to the stars. Taiwo was clever. Too clever, perhaps. He traded in everything: cloth, spices, promises, and he always came home with more than he started. But he traded in secrets. He traded in shadows. He did not ask if the gold was real. He only asked if it could be sold. Olu was brave. He could bring down a leopard with one spear. But bravery without wisdom is just noise. He wanted fast wealth. He wanted to be seen. He wanted the king's gold without the king's work. Kemi wove beauty. Her cloth made the wind look like gold. But she wanted recognition too quickly. She wanted to be the queen of weavers before her hands were ready. She began to sell false patterns, beautiful but hollow. They grew up together. They broke bread together. They promised, under that shea tree, that they would rise together, not one above the other, but all together, like branches of the same tree. But promises made under trees do not always survive the marketplace. Months passed. The city changed like water changes, fast, deceptive, beautiful, but dangerous. Taiwo traded fake gold that looked real under candlelight, but turned to dust in the light of day. He sold it to merchants, then ran. Olu sold stolen leopard skins and claimed they were his own. Kemi wove beautiful cloth embedded with false patterns, beautiful lies that looked like glory. They became rich. They wore gold. They rode horses. They laughed at Adebayo in the marketplace. "The smoke man still smells like ash. The fool still hammers." And they threw coins at him, like bones to a dog. But Adebayo did not stop. He worked in darkness and dawn. He shaped iron for farmers who needed plows. He shaped nails for builders. He shaped swords for the king's guards, not with lies, but with pure steel, with honesty, with the old fire that his grandfather taught him. And here is the second secret. He was not poor. Not in the way they thought. People came. They came from far villages because they knew. At Adebayo's forge, the metal was real. The sword would not break in battle. The plow would not bend in the earth. The nail would hold through storm and fire. He built a reputation. It was not loud. It was not golden. But it was solid, like iron that has been taught to respect the fire. One season they went to Benin, the golden city, to seek fortune. There Adebayo built a forge of clay and iron, with a hammer like thunder and an anvil from 3 generations past. Taiwo came smiling with too many teeth. Adebayo, look at us. I have silver. Olu has leopards for the king. Kemi hangs in the palace. You hammer in the dirt. You are not ambitious. You are a fool with a hammer. Olu laughed. When I return, I will say I built a fortune. What will you say? That you bent metal for strangers? Kemi was hard. My cloth is in the palace. Yours is in dust. You chose to be poor. Adebayo wiped his face. I chose honesty. The metal remembers. The village has a heart, even if you have forgotten. One morning, a messenger came, not with gold, but with tears. The king was dead. A new ruler needed a crown of pure gold, melted by hands that understood sacred fire. The 3 friends came in gold robes, with Taiwo's fake gold, Olu's stolen skins, Kemi's beautiful lies. We will crown the king, they said. But the master smith spoke. Only one forge can make this crown. It is not owned by those who sell lies. The messenger came not to Taiwo, not to Olu, not to Kemi, but to Adebayo. Make the crown by dawn. Only your forge holds the sacred alloy. Only your hands have not lied. That night they came to him broken. Taiwo trembled. Olu shook. Kemi held her cloth like a shroud. We are ruined, Taiwo said. Our gold is dust. We have empty hands. Adebayo looked at them with old fire. You chose shadows, but fire does not hate those burned by it. It only asks you come back, honest. Adebayo did not say, I told you so. He said, bring me your hands. I will teach them again. They rebuilt the forge together. Taiwo learned to ask not just, can I sell it, but is it true? Olu learned bravery without honesty is only noise. Kemi learned beauty without truth is a beautiful lie. They worked through the night. The forge glowed like a fallen star. Adebayo's hammer sang in teaching. He taught the old rule. Respect the fire, and the fire will respect you. By dawn, the crown was finished. Pure, sacred gold. Shaped by hands humbled, hands taught, hands that chose to come back. The messenger arrived. The crowd fell silent. The king was crowned with gold of truth, not lies. Here is the third secret, the one that makes this worth telling. The crown was not just for the king. It was for them. In that forge, they became brothers again, because Adebayo was honest enough to share the fire. They never laughed at him again. They became his apprentices. They built a forge for truth. Adebayo remained master, not because he was loudest or richest, but because he chose the honest job when it was hard. When people ask why I tell this story, I say, the world is full of Taiwos, Olus, and Kemis, people who want fast gold, beautiful lies, loud noise, people who forget fire remembers. But there will always be an Adebayo. There will always be a forge where honesty is not weakness. It is the only strength that does not break. The sun set over Ijebu. The forge glowed. The 4 brothers worked together. And the village, the real village with a heart, had its crown back. This was the golden hammer. Remember it. Remember that fire remembers. And always choose the honest job, because it is the only job that bends but never breaks. The end.